Oh no, the ring light and my glasses are just, they're not doing this. So anyway, if I'm not looking at you properly, I'm sorry. Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. In today's tutorial, we're going to be making yet another circle skirt. I know last week we made one, today we're going to make another. But the difference is that the method we're going to use today will help you to make a longer length circle skirt. You can also use it to make a maxi skirt. So we're not going to be folding the fabric widthwise and then lengthwise. We're going to fold it another way. And with this skirt, it's a bit longer at the back, so you can make a high-low skirt if you would want to. The skirt comes once again with pockets, always pockets, and a lining. So yeah, and then at the end of the video you'll see that I wore this out with a mask because we're still in COVID times. So in next week's tutorial I'm going to show you how to make my two favorite types of masks. So yeah, enjoy today's tutorial and I'll see you in the next video.
Quick recap. You'll need to take your waist measurement, that's also the circumference of your waist, which will be where your skirt waist belt will sit. And from there we're going to take one calculation, and that's the radius. It's equal to the waist measurement divided by 2 pi. In my case that is 33 divided by 6.3, and my answer is 5.2. Now I'm just going to show you how we're going to be folding our fabric. We're going to have two fabric pieces. One will be the front piece and one will be the back piece. We're going to measure the radius, which is 5.2 in my case, and then going down we measure the skirt length, the length we would want the skirt to be, that is. And then we're just going to cut around all of this, the skirt length and the radius, and then piece these together, and in the end you should have your full circle like this. For this project I used 3 meters of fabric and I had cut it into half already. So this is the first half, which is 1.5. I folded it nicely, and this will be the back piece of the skirt. The other 1.5 is going to be the front piece of the skirt. So we've got 4 layers on top of each other right now. From here I'm going to measure the radius. In my case it's 5.2. I'll just measure all around, and then the length I want the front of my skirt to be is 22 inches. And moving along I'm going to add 0.5 inches all the way until the sides of the skirt. So I'm going to end up with 24 inches at the side. Now I'm going to cut through all 4 layers of the fabric at the radius point, but then I'm only going to cut through the first 2 layers of the fabric, which is the front piece, at the length point. Because I want the back of my skirt to be a bit longer, I'm going to just mark out longer than the front piece, and this will be the back, and I make it meet the front side piece like this. Now time to cut the back piece. Now I'm going to mark down 9 inches and make a notch right there, and this is going to be where the pocket will be placed on the main skirt. I'm going to take away the front piece right now and focus on the back piece. I'm just going to slice it down, and this is where the zip is going to be placed. Now we're going to cut out our pocket bags. I have 4 layers of fabric here, and I'm going to draw a capital D and cut that out. About 2/3 of this fabric piece down, I'm going to make a notch, and this notch is going to meet up with the main skirt piece notches, and that's where the pockets will be placed. Onto the lining, we're going to fold it lengthwise and also fold it widthwise, and then we're going to mark out the radius minus 1/4 of an inch, and we're going to subtract the 1/4 of an inch to make an allowance for where we are going to connect the pocket bags to the main skirt piece. You see, when we connect the pocket bags, we're going to take away some of the fabric there, so we make room for this by cutting the lining a bit smaller. I'm also going to just measure the entire length that I have from the fabric for the lining piece, and then cut out the radius piece and then cut out the length piece. Now go ahead and slice through one of the layers of the lining, and this will be for the back zipper. Whatever your waist measurement is, for the waist belt, add 2 inches and cut that out. Remember that you will need to fold your waist belt, so it should be 2 times the width you would want it to be. Cut out your violin to the size of your waist belt and then iron it on. You iron on the fusible interfacing with the bumpy or sticky side facing the wrong side of your waist belt. After you've ironed it into place, you're going to fold it into half and iron it down as well. Now we're going to overlock all 4 sides of the waist belt, and then on the lining we're going to overlock the whole bottom of it. We're going to also overlock the skirt pieces and the pocket bags. Now we'll line up the notched part of the pocket bag to the notched part of the main skirt, and we're going to sew from the notches up until the top. So do that for all the pieces. Line up the pocket bags to the main skirt piece and then pin it in place, and then sew from the notch to the top. Once all that's done, I like to iron my seams open because it makes everything easier to work with. Now take your back piece and put it right sides together on top of the front pieces. Do that for both sides. Now you can pin the pockets together, pin the main skirt bottom together, and pin the tops together. Now I'm just going to mark out the entire section that you're going to sew. I think this will make things easier to explain. You're going to sew from the top all around the pocket bags and then back into the skirt piece and finally down to the bottom. Once that's done, you can iron your seams open. I think that this makes everything easier in the long run. Now your pocket bags are in place, they're functional, and it seems like everything is coming together nicely. Now you can go ahead and overlock the entire bottom of the skirt. Once that's done, it's time to put the lining into place. You can line up the lining on the back side of the main skirt. You can pin that into place and also pin it all around at the top part and sew it into place. Now we're going to attach our waist belt. We can do this by just pinning the whole length of it into place on the top length of the skirt piece. Remember, your skirt already has the lining in place, so you're going to pin through the waist belt, the main skirt piece, and the lining piece. Then sew that down. Once you've sewn it into place, we're going to now close those raw edges. And it's a good thing that we folded our waistband down because it naturally just wants to curve into place. We can pin it on the front side, so keep on hiding those seams inside the waist belt and pin on the front side, then go to your machine and sew this all into place. There we go, nicely done. Now the next thing we're going to do is to overlock those open back sides. Next we're going to put our back pieces together and then use our zip to measure the length of the seam we're going to make for the back zipper, and then come up by maybe 1 inch and sew it down from there all the way to the bottom at 1 inch allowance. That 1 inch is going to take away from the extra inch that we put on the waist belt for either side. Now, using your favorite method of inserting a zipper, go ahead and insert your zipper at this point. Once the zipper is in place, last thing that we have to do is to hem the bottom of the skirt. To make it easier for you, you can iron all around the bottom and then hem it. And once that's done, we're practically done with the whole skirt. You can go on and iron your hem and admire what you've just done, your high-low skirt.